So this is a video about personality styles. I'm excited to share this one with you because it's super usable. It was actually designed to help hairstylists quickly assess who's sitting in their chair so that they're able to make deep, meaningful contact with all of their clients. The Greek physician Hippocrates talked about these. He talked about the choleric, the sanguine, the melancholy, and phlegmatic. So the 4 personality styles, what we're going to start with in looking at these is an axis of feeling and thinking. So thinking people tend to be more to themselves and value thought over emotion, getting tasks done over relationships. So on the thinking side of this, again, it's not that, of course, they have emotions and of course they value people, but they value more than that details, getting things done, and thinking about things. More of a cognitive approach to life. And feeling-oriented people are more sociable, relate to others, might not be as into facts, and value emotion over thought. The social feeling of the group. Oh, what did that feel like to be there? So again, feeling, thinking axis. Now, the second axis is passive versus active. Passive people tend to act shy, submissive, compliant, sometimes indirect, often indirect. Even just me saying that right there, you could probably get a sense of a way that I'm more on the passive side. So active people tend to act forthright, dominant, assured, direct. So again, passive and active. Now, people who are high on relationship, but falling more into the passive side, that's the cooperator. Very feeling, but more passive. Now, if you're high on thinking, but lower on the active, this is the analyzer. High on active, high on thinking, this is your regulator. Somebody who likes to get things done. They're out there, they express themselves, and they're more thought-focused. And then high on relationship and more on the expressive side, on the active side, this is your energizer. The energizer who is more in touch with feelings, but also more active. Speak up more. Which one do you think you are? There's primary and secondary styles. Most of us are going to have a primary and a secondary one. Well, wow, at home, I'm really a regulator because I'm kind of running the household, got to do this, this, and this. But you know what? At work, I'm way more of an analyzer. Totally normal. So we all are going to be shifting our go-to personality styles depending on our environment. But most of us really have a knee-jerk response to things. If you look back over your life, you'll start to see, oh yeah, I can access all of these personality styles. But, I really do kind of like one. One I'm way more comfortable with, and that's kind of my go-to. One of the biggest challenges that we have is when we're with people that are polar opposites from us. So we have less in common and we rub each other the wrong way. Now, that's not always the case, but that can be something that happens, something to be aware of. So as a cooperator energizer, the opposite of me is an analyzer regulator. When I'm doing a speaking presentation, and I do a lot of these with people in IT, engineers, who tend to be more analyzers, more regulators. So they're not as expressive. They're not giving me visual cues that I'm looking for. And so I'll often, what I used to think was, oh geez, I don't like these people. They don't reflect the way that I want to be seen back to me. So I would either kind of put it off on them and yeah, I don't really like this person, or I don't like these people. Or I would blame myself for it if I was going to lean more into the cooperator side of things. Be like, oh, I must not have done very good. I probably, and I'll just start going into that loop when in fact, it's just how they are. They're not as expressive as I am. No big deal. And so by knowing that, I can then even regulate my energizerness and focus more, speak slower, and make sure to give details. But really, a trick of mine is to ask more questions. Because analyzers are freaking great. They have wonderful questions to ask. And sometimes I know the answer to it, and sometimes I don't. But even if I don't, oftentimes when they're asking a question, they start talking out loud, and then they answer their own question, and then they help me have an insight that I wouldn't have gotten to. I have had bosses, friends who are the opposite of me, the regulator, analyzer personality style, and I'm on my toes or kind of backed on my heels around them. But as I learn how to engage with a regulator personality style, there's a huge relief in it. Regulators are great because you just tell them what you know. You just tell them what works. You're like, oh, I did this, it worked. They're like, great, thank you. Like, it's so clear, direct, and efficient. And that's wonderful. And will help if you can align with a regulator. They will help drive things forward in ways that a energizer cooperator like myself might not do. So the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. See, the whole point of why I'm sharing this with you is I want you to have a good understanding of the 4 personality styles, knowing yourself and being able to identify others, so that when you have that chemical reaction with each other while you're interacting, that you are able to transform yourself, that you're able to grow from that interaction. And the chances are that's going to help the other person grow too. Regulators are going to tend to be who you think of as the CEO or the boss of things. That's not always the case, but that's going to be kind of more typical. Mao comes to mind. I'm like, that guy had to be a regulator. Probably a lot of leaders are regulator types. I would say Barack Obama, probably more of an analyzer, maybe analyzer regulator. Whereas George W. Bush, I'd probably put as an energizer, maybe energizer regulator. You're on the phone with somebody. How are you going to identify what personality style they are? So if somebody has a high, fast, and warm tone, what do you think that is? Hey, great. Oh yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you about this thing. Like, who's that? Somebody's like, oh, your presentation, that was fantastic. I think you did great. Who do you think that is? Cooperator, analyzer, regulator, energizer. Now, somebody who does, speaks more slow and caring, like, oh, do you really think so? Oh, thank you. Oh, really? Oh, great. Okay, now high, fast, and sharp. I want to make sure that we are efficient with our agenda. We've got a lot to cover. Who's that? Now, low, slow, and probing. Now, exactly why do you execute the process the way you do? High, fast, and lively. You've got to go see this movie. It's awesome. Low, slow, and caring. You did really well at the demonstration. I really appreciated it. How did you learn to do that so well? The low, slow, and caring, that's your cooperator. The high, fast, and sharp, that's going to be your regulator. High, fast, and warm, that's your energizer. Probing, the lower energy and slower, more focused, That's going to be your analyzer. Let me know what you liked about this, if there's more information that you want on this. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, where I post things about career development, emotional intelligence, leadership development, check that out. If you want to watch me jump into ice water, then go to my Instagram page, where I share inspirational things and fun things I do here in the city of Chicago. All right, stay connected. Hope you find this useful. Until next time.